Hey y'all, so welcome back, or not even or, but just welcome or welcome back. My name is Carice, and yeah, I'm back. If I have anybody that's returning from the many times I've started over on YouTube, hey girl, I'm so sorry. I know I always do this. This is like a real talk with you right now. I know I always do this. I always start to do the thing and then I stop doing the thing. Well, this time I'm hoping the thing sticks. And not saying I'm hoping the thing sticks, I'm just saying I think I'm finally at a place where I'm able to be okay with not being perfect, if that makes any sense. So, because I also wrote some notes down because I was like, when I get back to the camera, I can't just be blabbering. So, if there are any returning people that, also, Mr. Gingerbread says hello. If there are any returning people from my previous channel previous channel that was a lifestyle channel, I stopped, then I started again, and then it became a book channel, which was the most recent venture of mine. So with the book channel, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was having so much fun with doing that, but I also felt like it wasn't like authentically me. Like I was still being myself, but I felt like I was trying to fit this mold of what I felt like a booktuber should be or a bookstagrammer should be. So I took a break. I took down all the videos. Girl, I even deleted the channel, which some people in my life may say that I move too fast when it comes to doing certain things, because I'm the type of person, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. So yes, I could have hidden the videos. I could have, I probably could have, yeah, I probably could have hidden the videos, like signed out of the channel or whatever. I could have did that, right? But it's just like I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know that it existed. So I took all the videos down and I put all of them on my hard drive. I still have the raw footage of most of the videos that I've done. I just didn't care to see them. So yeah, but today I got inspired, and it's funny because the past weekend I went to an event that a friend of mine hosted, and I'll put her company here. She curates events for Black women. So I had the wonderful opportunity to be a panelist for the first day, and it was beautiful. And I know in my particular portion of the panel, I know I mentioned like my YouTube journey and the fact that I told them I was like, I'm gonna come back when I'm ready. So as I was sitting downstairs earlier, I was watching a bunch of booktube videos before her going to work, and I don't know, it's been on my heart for like some time to come back to the YouTube space, because I did enjoy being in the YouTube space, whether it was doing, bookish stuff or lifestyle stuff. I enjoy creating content in this form. Short form is a little bit, child, shout out to y'all that do the short form stuff. Shout out to y'all. Maybe one day I'll get there where I'm like, I love making short form. No, I prefer the longer form content. Not to say that I'm a yapper, because I'm not a yapper. Well, we'll beg to differ now because I'm yapping now, but it's because I'm trying to catch y'all up. So I enjoy the editing. I enjoy putting stuff together. I enjoy, if I have a silly moment in my video, I enjoy finding like a meme or something to go over that word. So I enjoy that. I enjoy watching that. I enjoy creating that. So I was sitting downstairs, and of course the past weekend my heart was full. Like it was just, I got invigorated just by being around so many Black women that are doing the thing, So sitting downstairs and I'm watching a booktube video, and I'm like, Carice, this has been on your heart for some time, and I've been wrestling with it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pick up the camera. No, I'm gonna sell the camera. I ain't gonna use the camera. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. Girl, I had this really strong pull, this strong tug to just come upstairs and turn the camera on and just talk. Because I think for me, at the end of the day, it's like, you will connect with the people that you connect with. Sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'll be scared to put myself out there, just because for years I have been watching a lot of lifestyle vloggers. I've watched a lot of, now that I'm in this new era of my life where I love books, I watch a lot of booktubers, and there's so many the negativity sometimes drowns out the positivity. But I have to keep telling myself, like, you cannot dwell on the negativity. Like, people are going to talk regardless, but it's up to you to navigate through that however, however you want to. I can't let me being scared of criticism, not scared of criticism, because I take criticism well, but I think it's just scared of the haters or whatever the case is, or scared of putting myself out there. I can't be scared of that. So here I am back again. Who knows when this video will be posted, child. Who knows? But I did write down, I'm not gonna yap too long because I want this to be, I don't know what this video is gonna be yet. I honestly don't. I don't know if it's gonna be a reading vlog. I don't know if it's just gonna be days in my life plus reading. I don't know really what it's gonna be, but I know I did wanna just kind of sit down and chat with y'all. I'm already talking for like 5 minutes. I hope y'all stick around. I hope y'all stick around. But that was just like the portion of me just being real with y'all, because I don't want to just come back on and be like, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, such and such and such. I want to be real with y'all. So I did write some notes down. I think the general answer when someone goes missing from like YouTube or Bookstagram or whatever the case is, and they come back, it's like, yeah, y'all, life been lifing, and life has been lifing. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Life has been lifing. I am in a season of healing, and I have never cried on camera. I don't think that's gonna be the day, but just know, like, I am getting choked up, so if I cut the camera off, yeah. But I am in a season of healing from many things. I think things that I of course don't feel comfortable sharing right now, but I'm in a season of healing, and this is new territory for me. I haven't been in a season like this in a while. So it's new territory for me. This year is also a big year for me because I do turn 30 this year. There's a lot happening this year, along with going through different types of grief. So it's just it's weird. It's weird. So yeah, I'm in a season of healing and in a season of trying to figure out the next path in life, career wise, all of that, and also trying not to feel like I'm behind in any way, just because, again, turning 30 this year, that's a huge milestone. So it's like sometimes I feel we can think that we are behind, in some way, so we can feel like we're behind because we're hitting certain milestones and certain things aren't happening or whatever the case is. So yeah, I'm in a season of healing, and I'm in a season of accepting, hey, this is where you're at, and your next steps will be revealed to you in God's timing, and everything happens for a reason. And I feel like there's a quote that says, nothing happens to you, it happens for you, or something like that. I don't know if that's how it goes. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm in a season of healing, and I'm in a season of trying to figure it out, is really what I'm trying to say, is in a season of trying to figure it out. And I truly do hope that I'm not gonna say I hope I take this serious, because I know that because when I came back to Bookstagram before coming back here, when I came back to Bookstagram, I made it clear and plain, I'm doing this how I want to. And this is the same thing for YouTube. I'm doing this how I want to. Healing is so not linear, and I'm learning that. It's so not linear. Like, there are days where when I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I'm great, and then throughout the day, like, I'll start to get sad, and then there are days when I'm like literally sad the entire day, and I'm trying to keep it together, and I have to be on the phone with a friend for like 4 or 5 hours just to keep my mind sane, So healing is not linear, but today, in this moment, I am okay, and I'm happy that I was able to pick up the camera and just share this little tidbit with y'all for what, nine minutes now, or 10 minutes. But either which way, if this is my intro back and this doesn't turn into anything else, then this will be that, and then there will be a separate video. But I truly do think that I'll probably make this into something, because it is, what's today? Today's Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. I don't have anything planned. I don't have anything going on. I do have family in town. That's about it. But yeah, nothing really going on. But yeah, so I hope you stick around. I didn't finish my notes, y'all. Sorry. See, this is the raw footage, y'all. So yeah, I kind of wrote some notes, you know. So I said I've been missing having a space where I can chat and share my newly found love for books. I think that's what it is, because there are people in my life that I share my love for books with. So like, we'll talk about books. Like, for example, I'm in a 2-person book club with my cousin. So like, we'll read, you know, a book together, either 1 or 2 books a month, and we'll read that book together, and we'll come together and we'll talk about the book. But I think it's just, I'm missing a space where it's so more people more people that read the same, you know, read the same books or have the same interests, whether it be books or something else. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm happy to be back, because then that would be like, I'm gonna say I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be back, and I'm excited to see where I will take this, where this will go. That's pretty much all I have to say. Like, I don't know, I can't say, yeah, like, yeah, I'm happy to be back. Like, I'm grateful to have had the inspiration and the energy to come back. So I truly do hope you stick around, and we in this together, girl. We in this together, girls, whoever. We in this together, honey. So I hope you stick around. Hey y'all, so it's a little bit later, and I was kind of doing stuff with, like, for the YouTube channel. Speaking of the fish tank I mentioned earlier, there it is. And my little guy, he's somewhere in there. I be thinking I'm such a bad fish mom, because I've never taken care of a fish before. But y'all, he's still living, okay? Hello, somebody. He is still living. I got him on Christmas of 2025, and he is still alive. So yeah, that's my baby. But anyways, I was fixing my YouTube up and stuff. I was getting the banner together, getting the little watermark thing that comes like in the right hand corner of your videos, and I was getting my picture, like trying to figure stuff out. So I was just doing that, and I just happened to look up, and I'm like, my room looks a mess. My room looks like how I feel. Like, my room is giving, girl, what are you going through? So I decided to pick up the camera, because I'm just gonna try to get some stuff together just before I go to work. And yeah, just kind of like pick the room up a little bit, and then I'll probably sit down and talk to y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna do it now or when I'm on the way to work, but I'm probably gonna sit down and talk to you about some of my most recent reads and my current reads. I don't know if on this channel I'm gonna do the whole monthly reading wrap-up thing, or if I'm gonna also like just include those in like a vlog and stuff, because I don't really know. I don't know if I enjoy doing those. I don't know, because like I said, I'm trying not to fall back into that trap of what I used to do. So I'm just gonna do what I want to do, okay? But yeah, I'm gonna prop y'all up so we can get this room together. We can get it somewhat together. We can get the space together. You know, it's a good day when I have my blinds open. That's how I know, okay, girl, you're having somewhat of a good day, because the blinds are open. If the blinds are closed, that means I'm soaking. If the blinds are closed, like if I wake up on any given morning and I'm like, Yeah, I feel like opening the blinds today. That means I'm feeling okay, I'm feeling good, and I'm able to kind of get through my day. But if I wake up and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna leave the blinds closed, that means I'm gonna leave these blinds closed, turn this laptop on, watch Survivor or something to make myself feel better. But the blinds are open today, so okay, so now that we have gotten that out of the way, I kid you not, like it really does feel different when you clean your space. Even though like this wasn't like a deep clean, like it does feel like I can hear myself now. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like it feels different when your space isn't cluttered, and you know your bed is made, whatever. Like it really does make you feel better. Now I know I said earlier that I was probably going to tell y'all about the books I've read so far this month and what I'm currently reading. Either I was going to do it now or I was going to do it in the car. I'm in the mood to do it now, so I'm gonna do it now. So for this month so far, one thing I will say about June is that it's very random. June is very random because if there's anybody here that followed me in my previous channel, y'all know I think I mentioned at one point that I like to do the Goodreads challenges. So for June, I have a few books on here that were part of the challenge. Then I have a bunch of thrillers because this is probably something I'll share in another video or whatever, but I've migrated most of my books to my TBR cart, and I'm actually using it for what it's supposed to be used for. And I'm trying to get through all my thrillers because after I get through all these thrillers, I'm going to be very selective with the thrillers that I purchase, if I even purchase any thrillers. So that's why I'm just trying to get through the thrillers, and that's why when I go through this list, y'all gonna see it's a bunch of thrillers, stuff that I'm waiting for the paperback for a certain book, but it was already on Libby, but it was for the challenge. So it's like, y'all will see what I'm talking about. So the first book that I finished in June, and this is also why I said I don't think I'm going to be doing any type of a monthly wrap-up or anything like that, just because I'll just talk about it in the vlogs. So the first book I finished was Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. That was a surprise for me. I remember, I think I texted my cousin, I was like, I don't really know how I feel about, I don't too much know how I feel about this, I don't know. But then when the twist came, that's when I was like, okay, I think I kind of like Lisa. I think I kind of like her. So that book follows, and please forgive me because it is middle of June and I read these books at the beginning. So please forgive me. But this book follows, I know it follows a mom, and okay, so from what I remember from the book, she follows a mom or a family. They lose someone from the family, so they lose, I think, I want to say the book tells you that there is someone, her little girl her little girl Ellie goes missing, and she's devastated, you know, rightfully so. She's devastated. Her little girl is gone, and then she starts to She met this guy at a like a coffee, I don't remember if it's a coffee shop or whatever it is, but they met each other, and then he also has a family, and the little girl that is in his family, you know, resembles her missing girl. So, you know, she's just going through the motions of like she's missing her baby, you know, she's just trying to pick the pieces up. So without, of course, without spoiling anything, it's just I don't know, I enjoyed the story. So yeah, if you want something like that, I would say pick that book up. I will say the story is based, is it based in the UK? Because the narrator had an accent, so like a UK accent. So I'm gonna assume it's based in the UK. And then some of the places they were talking about, I feel like was like UK. So yeah, so then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Then I also read Accidentally on Purpose by Kristen Kish. So this was for the AAPI month challenge on Goodreads, and I try to focus on books that I have physically, unfortunately, for which pow, because unfortunately I've either read most of the books that I have that are AAPI, or like I've probably read them and they're already on the red shelf, or I just don't own any anymore. So I picked Accidentally on Purpose by Kristen Kish because I watch a lot of cooking shows, and I've seen Kristen Kish a few times, so I'm like, I'm interested in her story, to hear, you know, how she became who she became. So honestly, it was a little bit like it was a little rough in the beginning, because memoirs are like that. Memoirs are very, for me personally, memoirs are a little rough at the start, because it's like, okay, we're getting the background of their childhood and all these things, and leading up to like who we know them to be now. So for me it's like, okay, I'm getting the background of everything from her childhood and then leading up to her time on Top Chef. So yeah, great story. In my opinion, it just did take me a little bit to get into the story, well, into her, because I feel like when I say story, like story and memoir is like two, it took me a while to get into her story. Yeah, I think I'll say it that way, her story, because this is her life, so I don't want to call it a story, but it's her life. The next one is The Boyfriend, and also I have all these books, but I don't feel like taking them off the shelf at the moment, except for Accidentally on Purpose. I read that through Libby. The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. Now, I'm also on a journey of completing all the books I have by Freida McFadden on my cart, because after I complete all the books I have from Freida McFadden on my cart, I'm strictly going to be requesting them on Libby, and if I truly did enjoy it, then I will purchase the book. But lately, the Freidas that I've been reading, besides Dear Debbie, because Dear Debbie was that was top tier. I'm sorry, I know a lot, because I've watched a lot of people that have read that book. A lot of people that have read that book or want to read that book. If you want to read Dear Debbie, please read Dear Debbie. I have never been so I've I've never really rooted for like any villains, but Debbie, I root for Debbie, okay? Debbie is unhinged. Debbie is unhinged in, I'm not even gonna say in the best way, because I don't even know, but Debbie, that story was great. That was a good story. So yeah, I read The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden, and I will say what I have to say about it. I read it, and it is now on my Pango. Because that's another thing. If I read, like, as I'm trying to get through my TBR, if I read a book and I don't enjoy it, like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I want this book on my shelf, it's going on my Pango shop. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, it's going on the Pango. So The Boyfriend is currently on the Pango just because the story wasn't bad. It's just your typical Freida. And I think it's also because I've been reading Freida round the clock because I'm trying to get through her stuff. So it's like everything is kind of seeming like the same, versus if you had read Freida, you know, in the order of how she released her books. But of course, I'm very new. It's only been a year into my reading journey, so I'm getting to know these authors, and I'm, you know, going through their backlists and trying to figure these things out. So yeah, bear with me. So then I read Kill for Me, Kill for You. This one was also a surprise for me because it started off slow, but then when it picked up, it picked up. When it picked up, it definitely picked up. And I will say I will be very surprised if this doesn't get turned into a limited series or a movie or some type of adaptation. I will be very surprised. Yeah, so this one here follows, you're following two women, and they meet at some form of a support group. And I don't think that's a spoiler, because I'm also getting better at trying to describe a book without giving certain things, because I don't want to give away too much and then, you know, the bookish world be mad at me. But you're following two women. They meet at some form of a support group, and it's dual POV, so you're getting both women's POV. What is it? Well, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of POVs actually, because you're getting the women, you're getting somebody else, so you're getting a lot of people's POV. That's why I said it would be a great show, because each episode can be a different person's perspective, you know. So this one, it's literally like what the title says. If you kill for me, if you, I don't know, can you say KILL on YouTube? I don't know, it'd be weird. But basically it's like, if you kill for me, I'll kill for you. That's basically what the book is, and that's basically how the story, that's where the story is taking you. It's like these people are, like she said, yeah, you gonna do it for me and I'll do it for you, basically. But there's just so much more to it than that. Like, there's just so much more to it than them just saying, yeah, you kill for me, I kill for you. Like, it's so much more to it than that. I would recommend. Now, next one I read is These Heathens by Myah McKenzie. So I read this for a challenge on Goodreads. I don't own the book by Myah McKenzie because, again, this came out, I think, either last year or this year. I want to say this book came out, yeah, this came out June of last year. So they are probably still in the process of figuring out if this is coming or when it's coming to paperback. I don't know when it's coming to paperback, actually. So I intended to wait for the paperback to read the book, but then I saw it on the challenge and I'm like, okay, I want to read this book, but I don't have it physically, but Libby has it, so let me get it from Libby. So I listened to it, actually. Very short book, and it spans over a weekend. It literally spans over a weekend. I believe the description says, like, where do you get an abortion in the what year? Yeah, where do you get an abortion in 1960 Georgia, especially if the town midwife goes to the same church as your parents? Yeah, like, where? Yeah. So the story was funny. I will say it was very funny, and I'm glad I read it. And you're basically following the young lady as she tries to get an abortion over this weekend, and that's her story. She's trying over the weekend. She's trying to get some abortion. I will say when I read it, I will say when I get the paperback, I will most likely do a reread, just because I feel like this deserved to be read with my eyes and audio at the same time, because I like to do immersive reading. It's hard for me to read a book just strictly with my eyes, just because my brain starts to go other places, especially ow, I bit my jaw. Especially in this season of my life, it's like I'll be reading a book with my eyes, and then my brain, I'll just start to just think about random things, and then I don't understand what I'm reading, or I don't comprehend what I'm reading. So I will say that when I do get the paperback for this book, when it comes out, I probably will do a reread. We'll see. Because I feel like there were some things that I probably missed while listening to it strictly on audio. Yeah. So next I read Blacktop, Wasteland by S.A. Cosby, which was, yeah, that also, if that doesn't become a show, a movie, something, I would be very surprised. So with this one, it was a little bit different for me just because this S.A. Cosby's books are very, like, for me personally, I'm not saying that like us as women, like, we can't read that, but it's just, it gives like such masculine energy. But yeah, this book, you're following, what's his name, you're following, because I wanted to say Ronnie, but I feel like Ronnie is a character in this book. Yeah. So you're following Beauregard or Bug. He's a mechanic, and you know, he used to do some stuff back in the day, and I believe, just to make sure I'm not spoiling anything, so he's going through some stuff financially, and he takes part in helping to do a heist to solve his money problems. So yeah, yeah, that, it was just reading it, it was kind of like, wait, especially when I was listening to it and I had the book in my hand, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching a show right now. I feel like I'm watching a TV show. So I would definitely recommend that book. After that, oh my gosh, I read a lot of books this month. After that, I read Whispers of the Lake by Shanora Williams. Now, what in the world? And that's the thing with some of these books that I read. I'm like, I can't remember how they ended, and I'm trying to remember. I'm really trying to remember. But yeah, so I read Whispers of the Lake by Shanora Williams, and this is probably my fourth book by her, because I read her two, Beautiful Broken Love, Sweet Little Hearts. I've read, or maybe this is my third book by her, because I think I have another one. I think I have another romance book by her. So this is probably my third. No, it's my fourth, because I've read The Wife before. So this is my fourth book by Shanora Williams, and Whispers of the Lake was good. I think I went into it expecting something different. I don't know what I went into it expecting. I don't know if it's because of the cover, and it just looks like creepy. Like the cover just gives like creepy lake house vibes. So I don't know if I went into it thinking it was gonna be a story that was like super like creepy and, you know, a lot going on, but it wasn't really. So in this story, you're following Eve. Sorry, no, you're following Rose, as she basically is trying to find her friend Eve. Her friend Eve has gone missing. No one knows where Eve is, and the last place that it said that Eve was at like a lake cabin or something, somewhere far up there somewhere. So she decides to spend time there to try to figure out and put the pieces together of where her friend might be. And of course, within that, there's a lot of other things that happen. So of course, I can't really say all the things that have happened, but within her trying to find her friend, there are a lot of complicated things that happen, or complicated things that were happening around her, and you know, maybe some complicated things that may cause her to have some apprehension around, you know, fully investing herself into finding her friend. So that was Whispers of the Lake. Now, after that, I needed something fluffy. I needed something fun. I needed to just escape somewhere else that wasn't like all these places of thriller mystery. So I read No Ordinary Love by Myah Ariel, and that story was so sweet, so nice. This story, you're following what is her name? Ella. You're following Ella, and she is she's not a rising, but she's a pop star. She's basically a pop star. I think what I like the most about this book is that it mentioned like real life people, like Beyonce, Rihanna, like it mentioned real life people. That's what I liked about it, because it was just like, typically if you read a story, there's like people that are made up, you know, which is fine because it's a story. Like if you read a story like this, actually, there are people that are like made up. Yeah, there are people that are like made up. Like for example, I think what book is, I think it's Christina Forrest. Christina Forrest is were her Green Sister series with the love lyric, and one of the characters in there that is the singer, her name is Caramel Kitty. So it's like stuff like that. Like we don't have a Caramel Kitty out here in the real world that I know about. So it was really interesting to read the story and, you know, get the perspective of, oh, she uses real people. Like she's saying Beyonce, she dropping Rihanna, like all these names. And then, so anyways, the story is about Ella. She's a pop star. She's, you know, going through life, and then she's also married. She's married, and it's just a sticky situation, honestly. And I don't think this is a spoiler, because you learn early on that this is not this is not what she wants, and she wants to, you know, do other things. And then she ends up meeting Miles Westbrook, who is an MLB. He's the MLB's most eligible player. And I believe, because I want to say, let me scroll down to make sure. So yeah, so fake dating. So it turns into fake dating because something happens at an award show and people kind of start to like speculate things. So they start to like fake date, and then, you know, it's a romance, so you know what's gonna happen at the end of it. And it was just a very sweet break from all the thrillers I was trying to knock out. So that was good. Then after that, so like I mentioned earlier, my cousin and I, we are in a 2-person book club, and we read 2 books a month. Well, we started to read, we started to read 2 books a month, and one of the first book for the month of June was Credence by Penelope Douglas. And we, of course, me and my cousin, we talked about this book in length. Now, I didn't enjoy this book. I didn't enjoy this book at all. I actually was fighting to get through this book. We read it. I'm glad we read it for the book club because we had so much to talk about. I personally did not enjoy this book. There are probably people out there that really did enjoy this book, and reading is subjective. That's why I love this space. That's why I love reading, is because it's so subjective. Because there's a book that I probably hate, somebody loves it. There's a book that I don't want to say hate, a book that I dislike that somebody probably loves, or a book that somebody really cares for and I dislike that book. So I didn't enjoy that story. That story, you're following Tiernan, and she's I don't know if this is a spoiler, but she's going through some stuff, and she ends up going to stay with some family members. And yeah, it's a dark romance, so put together what you will. Yeah, it gets dark. It gets very, very dark in ways that I personally, I'm like, I've read spicy books before, but I feel like I ain't never read, maybe I've never dabbled in this type of dark romance. I don't even know if I would ever really dabble in that type of dark romance ever, you know, after reading this. But yeah, it did make me kind of uncomfortable in certain parts. Overall, I read it. I'm glad I read it. And yeah, it's also on the Pango. It's also on the Pango store, because I wouldn't want it on my shelf personally, because I'm being very intentional with the books that I keep on my shelf. Now, the last book, before we get to the current reads, is I read The Crash. Like I said, I'm trying to get through Freida. So I read The Crash. The Crash, again, your typical Freida. You're following a young woman who is pregnant. And the reason I think I'm able to remember this is because it's fresh, because I finished that book yesterday. What's today's date? Yeah, I finished that book yesterday. So you're following a young woman. She's pregnant. She's going through something in this moment, and she's going up to visit her brother, and she gets into a car accident, and then someone within the town helps her out. It's like a guy that helps her out. He brings her to his house and ends up, you know, it's like a couple, because so she finds out he has a wife, everything, and then, you know, she stays with them. She stays with them, and you know, the story just goes downhill from there. But the story takes a Freida turn. That's what I'm gonna say. The story takes a big old Freida turn. Anybody that has read Freida before knows when Freida do her turn, she gonna do them. So yeah, the story takes a big old Freida turn. I had many moments where I was just like, girl, why? And and what? Overall, it wasn't a terrible story in my opinion. It's just like I said, me reading Freida back to back to back, it's making me probably like, girl, what? So anyways, I did enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it enough to keep it on my shelf along with my most favorite Fridas, because my most favorite Fridas is Never Lie, the Housemaid series, and Dear Debbie. If you can't hold a candle to those, you're not going on the shelf, babes. You're not going on the shelf. So hence why I'm trying to get through these Fridas so that I can strictly just read her through Libby or through Kindle Unlimited whenever I get that back. I don't have Kindle Unlimited right now, but whenever I get it back, I'll just strictly read her stuff through that so that I don't feel this pressure of having to read it and then I'm like, dang, I spent my money on this and I don't want to keep it on my shelf. So yeah, but jumping into the current reads. Currently I am reading another Freida because I'm trying to get through them, y'all. I'm almost there. So I'm reading The Locked Door. So far, this is reminding me a little bit of The Inmate. Just a little bit. It's reminding me a little bit of The Inmate and maybe a little hint of Ward D. So you're following Nora. Is her name Nora? You're following Nora. I believe she is a physician. I think she's a physician. And and her dad, yeah, her dad was this serial killer. It tells you on the back that her dad was a serial killer. I want to say it tells you on the back that her daddy is a serial. Yeah, it says I had no idea her father was killing women in the basement. Yeah, so her dad was a serial killer, and I'm not that far in the book, but so far I'm like, something's off with Nora, and I don't know what it is, but I guess I'm gonna find out. But that's number one. Number two, I am reading Junie. This was one of the books that came out and I instantly wanted to read it, but I was waiting for it to come out on paperback, and she was finally on paperback and I got her. This is the second book for the month that my cousin and I are reading for our 2-person book club. And you're following Junie in the story. I am only on I think chapter 4 or 5 in this book. You're following Junie in the story. So far from what I see is that Junie's gonna try to find Junie. Junie's gonna try to find Junie, because so far what I'm reading is like her sister Minnie, like everybody loved Minnie, and Junie probably feels like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything, you know, right, or whatever the case is, because everybody loves Minnie. So on the back of it, because I want to do this justice, because I'm not so far into it yet, but it's Alabama 1860. 16-year-old Junie has spent her life enslaved on Bellarine Plantation, cooking, cleaning, and tending to the white master's daughter Violet. Her daydreams are filled with poetry and faraway worlds while she spends her nights roaming through the forest, consumed with grief over the death of her older sister Minnie. When wealthy guests arrive, hinting at marriage for Violet and upending Junie's life, because that is a part of the book that I got to, where we find out that, where Junie finds out, like, oh shoot, I might not be, like, my life might be in jeopardy in a sense. So Junie commits a desperate act, one that rouses Minnie's spirit from the grave, so there are some ghostly elements, and tethered to this world unless Junie can free her. She enlists the aid of Caleb. I haven't met Caleb yet in the story. Caleb hasn't shown up in the story yet, but I'm assuming we will meet Caleb when we meet Caleb, and their friendship soon becomes something more. Yet as long-held truths begin to crumble, she realizes that Bellarine is harboring dark secrets that can no longer be ignored. Yeah. So I'm excited to continue to get into this book. I read Freida, like earlier when I was fixing my room up. These are the times I read Freida. I literally I pop this one specifically, and if it's a Freida that I enjoy, I will be sat, but I'm not so invested in this one. So I pop her in, read her when I'm either driving to work or coming home from work, or just needing something to listen to while I'm cleaning or whatever the case is. Now for Junie, when I put these headphones on, I need to be sat, okay? So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to read Junie, because I want to actually be able to sit down and read Junie. But that is this is the catch up portion of what I've been reading, and it is 20 something minutes long, and I'm not going to make it any longer. Now the decision is, do I continue this vlog, or do I just end this, post it, and then we pick it up another time? We will find out. But thank you. Hey y'all, so I hope you can hear me, because I have my mic, and I pulled it out the drawer this morning. I was like, girl, you ain't talking to this mic in months. But yeah, so it's a couple days later, and I am on the way to work, and I figured I would just kind of come in, check in with y'all, chat with y'all about the book that I finished yesterday, which is The Locked Door by Freida McFadden. And I think I told y'all in the beginning portion of the video that I am trying to clear Miss Freida off my cart, just because I want to get back to, not get back to, because this is new to me, but I want to get to just reading her books strictly on either audio or through the library or something, so that if I do end up enjoying the book, then I will purchase it from my shelf as a trophy. But as of right now, I'm just trying. I have two more left. I have The Tenant, and I have The Coworker, which I don't hear very good things about The Coworker. But The Tenant, I didn't really hear any good things about that either. But yeah, so I am trying to get through the rest of her stuff on my cart, so I can just get to doing what I want to do. So I know she has a new book that came out this year also, because I know Dear Debbie came out the early part of the year. And hopefully this line not long, y'all. I'm going to Dunkin'. It's super hot outside, and I did not eat breakfast, and I cannot be at work. I feel like if I go to work without eating something, I'm gonna pass out and fall out, and I don't need that. But yeah, it's hot outside, so I think I don't want to get coffee. I think I want to get like a refresher or something. So y'all give me just a moment, because I didn't place an order ahead of time. Give me one moment. Hello, can I get for you? Hi, may I please have a medium mango pineapple limeade refresher? Medium mango pineapple limeade, okay. And may I have that with extra ice, please? Extra ice, okay. And then may I also please have wow, the a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel? Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel? Yes, please. Okay. And a side of hash browns. Okay, one quarter of hash browns, okay. That'll be all. I got you. It's gonna be 12.27. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, we are back. So I got my beverage. So this is the beverage. It is the mango. This is my first time having, I think, a refresher from Dunkin', to be honest. It's the mango pineapple limeade refresher with additional extra ice, because I do like all my drinks with extra ice. I like it extra cold. I don't know how I feel about how this looks. Like, it looks very, like, when a juice, like, you can tell when something is just like gonna be real sweet. I just feel like that's what I'm about to witness and taste right now. Like, it just looks so thick. It just looks very, very thick, and I just feel like hopefully y'all can still hear me. But yeah, it just looks so thick, and I feel like let me try it. It's not bad. It tastes like a juice. Like, it is juice. I don't taste like the limeade that I'm supposed to be tasting, but it's very sweet. Yeah, it's very sweet. And it also could do with some more ice. It could also do with some more ice, in my opinion. But yeah, let me get back to the matter at hand, at what I was talking about before I went to Dunkin'. So, Miss Freida, right? So, like I said, I'm trying to clear her last two books off my cart, so I can just get to reading her on the library or on through Kindle Unlimited, if I do get Kindle Unlimited back. So, the book that I just read is called The Locked Door. It's the book with the red door on it, and that I think I told this to I said it to my cousin when I finished. I said, if if this book was the first time I started reading, like in 2025, if this was the first thriller I picked up in 2025, I would have probably given it if because that back then in 2025 I was still rating books. I don't rate books now in 2026. That is something that I decided to stop doing in 2026. Just in general, I don't really care to rate books. I just want to mark it as read and keep it pushing. Um, so if this was one of the first books I read in 2025, I honestly would have probably been super shocked at the twist. I will say this twist was one of the better twists out of Freida's twists, I would say. Um, and also this book came out in 2021. So another thing I told her is I feel as though, and hopefully I'm not screaming because I know I'm on the mic, so hopefully it's not like I'm like screaming into the mic. But I also told her that I feel as though if I had started my reading journey like way back when, and I was reading Freida like upon like release, like when she was releasing her books and stuff, I probably wouldn't have the same experience I'm having now, where I feel like, oh my gosh, like I keep reading these Freidas and it's the same thing over and over. Not to say that I wouldn't have that experience, but it probably wouldn't have been as like, you know. So, yeah, so Locked Door, this story follows Nora, and it's past and present timeline, so you're going from like her life now to her life 26 years ago. And okay, this person is driving straight crazy right now. Okay, all right. You know, yeah, let's not do that. All right. So yeah, following Nora, past and present. So past, it's, I think she's like maybe what, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was like either 11 or 7 or something. And you're following her as she navigates, school and friendships and all that. And Nora, as a child, she a little, I don't know, it's a little weird. And then in the present, Nora is now a physician. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know she does like surgery and stuff. Like she's able to like be called in for surgery. So she does. She's a physician and she has a partner, and she works in like an office area, and she basically has like a team. So her father, when she was a child, her father went to prison because you know, he some people, and some young girls actually. And because this is a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, her father went to prison, and basically she hadn't spoken to her father since. So now she's a physician, and I'm trying to think of how to say this, but yeah, she's a physician now, and I guess in my humblest opinion, this is not a spoiler, but Nora is like grappling with basically not becoming her father, I guess, because again, she's a physician and she's a surgeon, so she likes to, cut people open and such. So, and the type of person that her father was, he was very much like cutting people up. So, she's grappling with the fact that she doesn't want to become her father and blah 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 blah. And then throughout the story, like you get deeper into understanding her and her family, and finding out some things. And then, like I said, the twist was one of the better twists. Like if I read this back in 2025, I probably would have been like, oh my god, what? So yeah, it was one of the better twists, but it wasn't, I didn't enjoy it enough to want to keep this book on my shelf. So it is on my Pango, because I think I also told y'all that earlier in the video too. Like, the books that I do not enjoy, they are definitely going on that Pango, because if somebody else can pick that book up and enjoy that book and might want to keep it on their shelf. So yeah, but that's The Locked Door. I finished that yesterday, and I'm currently only reading one book, which is Junie. I didn't read as much today because I woke up a little bit later, and like I said, my family's in town. So today was their last day, so I was just spending a little bit of time with them in the morning, and now I'm on the way to work. But Junie is the second half of the book. My cousin and I's 2-person book club. It's the second half, and we are, well, she's already done with her reading for the month. I am still reading. I think I'm on chapter 5. I want to sit down and read Junie like with my eyes and audio. So it's hard for me to, like I said, my family's in town, so it was hard for me to just kind of sit down and like be immersed in a book. And I also haven't really been in the mood to sit down and be immersed in a book. That hence why I just kind of was picking up Freida and just reading Freida. So yeah, I'm gonna probably pick up Junie either tomorrow morning and Tuesday and Wednesday, which is another thing. It's like, okay, I want to pick up books and read, but at the same time, I think I also told y'all earlier, there are a lot of life changes happening, and if I sit down and I read and I put like my headphones on and like block out the world or whatever, I start to feel guilty because I'm like, okay, girl, you should be looking for a job, you know you should be looking for additional income, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. So it's just like I feel guilty when I sit down and I'm like reading, but because I'm like, it's not like I'm ignoring my life responsibilities, but it's just, I just feel guilty. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll dedicate one specific day to sitting down and reading, and then the next day I can dedicate to actually doing the adulting things that I need to do. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and kind of talk to y'all before I go to work, because I definitely remembered that I hadn't picked up I hadn't picked up my mic in so long, and I really like using my mic. I brought the little puff thing, which is broken. I have another one. This thing, I have another one at home, so I'm gonna get another one. But yeah, now it's just gonna be me rambling. So let me just get up off this app. Hey y'all, so I am home. Why is this beeping? I'm so confused. Technology. But hey y'all, so I'm home from work, and I made the decision that I'm gonna make this one vlog and just close it out. I know we ain't really do much, it was a lot of yapping going on, but I feel like if I continued it into the week, it would have just been too much. Like, it would have just been way too much. The video, when I was editing it, it was already at like 50 minutes. I was like, yeah, no, absolutely not. So I wanted to come on and close out this week's vlog and just let y'all know that I will be picking the camera back up tomorrow, hopefully, depending on how I feel. Because again, it's when we feel good, we gotta grab it by the ball. I was gonna say grab it by the balls. We gotta grab it and just hold on to it. But yeah, well, for the rest of the night, I'm probably, because it's late, so I'm probably gonna pick up Junie at some point tonight. Not sure. Maybe read like one chapter and then go to bed. But as of right now, I'm just watching YouTube videos and Family Feud at the same time. So like, I don't know. A thing about me, I love game shows. I just love any type of competition related thing. So I love game shows. And I typically have like Family Feud on or Game Show Network on in the background. After a certain time on Game Show Network, they just play Family Feud all night. So Family Feud is on in the background, and I'm also trying to catch up on a lot of the lifestyle and booktube vloggers that I watch. But nine times out of ten, I'm going to fall asleep. I'm gonna fall asleep. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming back to my channel if you've been here before, and you've seen me evolve and all of that. And if you are new here, welcome, and I would love for you to join me on this journey. Let's see where this takes us. Let's see if it sticks this time. Let's see if it sticks this time. And yeah, but with this channel, it's gonna be it's not just gonna be books. That's one thing I did say to myself. I was like, I don't want it to just be books. I don't want it to just be about books, because I want to combine what I used to do with what I do enjoy now. So like in the past, I just did strictly like lifestyle before I discovered reading. So I wanted to mix both. So I kind of want to share my life, but also share, you know, my newfound hobby, my newfound love for books, and also my continuing love for different hobbies when I figure out the like other hobbies that I do enjoy. So like, for example, I recently got into like a little bit, I'm like a little bit of puzzling, puzzling kind of pisses me off, but I'm learning to I'm learning to not I'm learning to be patient, because with puzzling you have to be so patient. Like it's teaching me patience. So yeah, join me on this journey as we, I don't know, girl, as we figure life out together, especially with about to enter a new era of life in, you know, in a few months, with me being 30. So yeah, let's do this together. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, whenever you're watching this, night, morning, evening, afternoon. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. Bye.